Okay, before we go any further, if you're new here and you like real stories, raw stories, the kind of thing they don't teach in school and they definitely don't show on the news, hit subscribe right now. We go hard on this channel, and this one right here might be the most intense we've ever gotten. All right, so picture this. You wake up and the light is already on. It was on when you fell asleep. It'll be on tomorrow. There is no morning in here, not really, because morning requires darkness to end, and darkness never comes. The ceiling is maybe 8 feet above you. The walls on either side are close enough that if you stretch both arms out, you can touch them simultaneously. There is a slot in your door. 3 times a day, that slot opens and a tray comes through, and that right there is your entire social life. No yard, no cafeteria, no cell block noise drifting down the tier. Just you, the concrete, and a light that the federal government of the United States has decided will never be turned off. That's not a horror movie. That's Tuesday. This is ADX Florence, Colorado, the only federal Supermax prison in America. And once you go in, you essentially stop existing to the outside world. Most people have heard the name, very few actually understand what the place is, how it came to exist, who's inside it right now, and what it's quietly doing to the people it holds. That's what we're getting into today, and I promise you this story goes places you are not expecting. To understand ADX, you have to go back to November 22, 1983, United States Penitentiary, Marion, Illinois. 2 correctional officers, Merle Klutz and Robert Hoffman, were murdered on the same afternoon by members of the Aryan Brotherhood. Same prison, same day, hours apart. Let that land for a second. 2 men went to work that morning and never came home, and the ripple effect of that single day is still being felt inside a concrete building in Colorado right now, 40 years later. The federal system looked at what happened and made a decision that still echoes today. Marion went into permanent lockdown immediately, becoming the first long-term control unit in federal history, and the Bureau of Prisons began quietly designing something new, something that would take the concept of a lockdown and make it permanent by architecture rather than by emergency order. They had 11 years to get it right. 11 years. Think about how much intention goes into something you spend 11 years designing. In 1994, ADX Florence opened in Fremont County, Colorado, and the modern era of American Supermax incarceration began. Now, here's the first thing that got me when I started looking at this place properly. The facility sits at around 5,000 feet elevation, surrounded by flat, exposed terrain that goes nowhere in every direction. The geography is part of the security system. Escape the building, and you're still stranded in rural Colorado in a prison uniform with nowhere to go and nobody coming. The designers thought about everything, every single thing. The cell window, and I need you to really sit with this, is angled in a specific architectural way so that the person inside cannot determine their own geographic location from the light coming through it. They engineered spatial disorientation directly into the structure. That is not an oversight. That is a deliberate decision made in a planning meeting by people who then went home to their families for dinner like it was a normal Tuesday. The building itself is designed to make you lose your grip on where you are in the world. I don't know about you, but that detail alone changed how I think about this place entirely. Each cell runs approximately 7 by 12 feet. The bed is concrete, poured as part of the structure. The desk is concrete, the stool is concrete. Nothing in the room was placed there. It grew out of the walls. The shower is built directly into the cell. The toilet and sink are a single combined unit, also built in. An inmate at ADX can complete every biological function required to stay alive without ever stepping outside that room. That is not convenience, that is containment made physical. And it gets more complete than that. Inmates spend between 22 and 24 hours per day inside that cell. For 1 hour, they may be allowed into a small individual recreation space, essentially an outdoor cell, slightly larger with a concrete floor and chain-link ceiling, completely alone. There is no group programming, no shared meals, no group anything. Human contact, when it occurs at all, is transactional. A correctional officer through a slot, a medical check, a legal visit under heavily controlled conditions. The population at ADX at any given time runs between 300 and 400 human beings, in boxes, right now. Now, let's talk about who's actually in there, because this is where the story becomes genuinely difficult to look away from. Ramzi Youssef, the man who engineered the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, the truck bomb in the parking garage that killed 6 people and injured over 1,000, is at ADX. Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, who conducted a 17-year mail bombing campaign that killed 3 people and injured 23, spent years at ADX before his death in 2023. Eric Rudolph, who bombed the 1996 Atlanta Olympics and targeted abortion clinics across the South, is there. Terry Nichols, who helped Timothy McVeigh construct the bomb that destroyed the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City in 1995, killing 168 people, including 19 children in a daycare center on the 2nd floor, he's there. Zacharias Moussaoui, convicted in connection with the September 11th attacks, is there. Richard Reed, who attempted to detonate explosives packed into his shoes on a transatlantic flight in 2001 with 197 people on board, is there. Just stop for a second and think about that list. That is not a list, that is a summary of some of the most catastrophic moments in modern American history, and all of those stories end in the same 7 by 12-foot room in Colorado. And then there's Joaquin Guzman, El Chapo, the man who ran the Sinaloa cartel through decades of drug trafficking that moved narcotics across the Western Hemisphere and left a body count that no single number can accurately capture. Now look, El Chapo's story before ADX is almost too wild to believe even when you know it's true. He escaped Mexican maximum security prison in 2001, reportedly walking out in a laundry cart. A laundry cart. He was recaptured, and then in 2015, he escaped again through a mile-long tunnel his organization dug beneath his shower, a tunnel with ventilation, lighting, and a motorcycle on a rail system inside it. A motorcycle on a rail under his shower. His people built that. He was finally extradited to the United States in 2017, convicted in 2019, and now is at ADX Florence. He has not escaped, not even close. The facility is doing exactly what it was built to do, and El Chapo's entire history is basically the strongest argument the place has for its own existence. Now, getting sent to ADX isn't as straightforward as people assume, and this part of the story is one most people never hear. You don't automatically land there because of the severity of your original crime. The Bureau of Prisons conducts internal security threat assessments, and inmates can be designated to ADX based on their assessed organizational capacity, their network reach, or their perceived ability to continue running criminal or terrorist operations from within a general prison population. That means some men arrive at ADX not because of documented behavior inside prison, but because of what the Bureau believes they are capable of coordinating if given access to communication. The review process for this designation happens administratively, not in open court, and it can extend indefinitely without the same procedural transparency as the original criminal trial. Read that back one more time. You can be sent there for what someone thinks you might do, not what you did, what they believe you could do if they gave you a phone. For a subset of ADX inmates, the Bureau of Prisons imposes what are called Special Administrative Measures, or SAMs. Under SAMs, communication is restricted far beyond standard ADX protocol. An inmate might be limited to one monitored phone call per month to immediate family. Legal correspondence can be reviewed and delayed. Attorney access is tightly controlled. The government's documented reasoning is that for certain individuals, specifically those connected to active terrorist networks or large-scale criminal organizations, any outbound communication is operationally meaningful. A letter is not a letter. A call is not a call. It is a command that can cross borders, move money, and direct violence from a concrete box in Colorado. Several federal courts have reviewed SAM's challenges and largely upheld the government's authority to impose them when the national security justification is properly documented. In 2012, a group of ADX inmates filed a federal lawsuit, Cunningham versus Federal Bureau of Prisons, arguing that the mental health conditions at the facility were unconstitutional. When their attorneys finally got proper access to clients some had not been able to consult with properly for years, forensic psychiatrists went in and documented what they found. And what they found was not pretty.
If you wish to know more, subscribe to this channel and wait for our next video on ADX Florence. Thanks for watching.